I'm here with Sonic, official name Cameron Bayrasli. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
You got it right, buddy.
Yeah, you're at the ranch. You're only really down the road from me. I'm in Montreal. You're only, what, 4 hours down the road?
Maybe a little bit more than that, but yeah.
And I can't get to the States. The border's closed. I can't come and see you guys. So
Yeah, it's the time of the year. You know, season's kicking in. Memorial Day,
yeah,
is really when the season kicks off. So hopefully it's going to be a good summer. It's got to be better than last year.
Sonic, the Ranch Pro Shop. You've been there. What 2002 was it? You started that?
Yep. We're in our 19th year of the Pro Shop.
Yeah.
Every time I say it, it's like what? Yeah, 2002 is when we started. Me and my wife Donna.
Yeah.
And here we are 19 years later.
And so you're open now, you're in the shop. Somebody could walk in now and say, Sonic, I need help with this.
Exactly. They're coming in a panic. I need a closing loop.
If somebody breaks their closing loop on a pack job, do you find them?
Do I find them?
We used to, in Ampuria, if somebody broke a closing loop during a pack job, I would ground them for the day.
Oh, for letting it go get that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you. That's a good point. That'll be a lesson to be learned, huh?
Yeah. You'd hear it. You'd hear in the hangar somebody going, and then pop, and everybody would go, ooh, we're in trouble now.
Yeah. We go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go Sonic. You're going to say?
No, I was going to say, yeah. Actually, we're not in the hangar anymore. We're located at the DZ. Now we're just half a mile down the DZ in a new location. So walking down the hangar doesn't happen as often as it used to. I get over to the drop zone as frequently as I can. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. We're in a new shop now, finally, which is great.
So how far are you actually from the DZ, from the landing gear?
Literally a half a mile. It takes about a minute and 30 seconds to get here. I've timed it.
Yeah.
And it's a great new shop, great new layout, right in the center of town of Gardner, across from the pizza place and all the other stuff. So we're enjoying this new location. Man,
as soon as the border opens from Canada to the States, I'm going to come down. I'm going to do a few jumps. I'm going to get a pizza. It sounds fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Sonic, I want to, like I do on these shows, I just don't want to talk about what's happening now with skydiving. I want to find out about you, and I want to go right the way back, right to the beginning. Where were you born? Well, tell me a little bit about how it all started for you. Where did your life begin?
Born in 1970 in North Jersey, Springfield, New Jersey. And started skydiving. Me and my brother, I have an older brother, Levent. And as the story goes, as I've told many a times, it was a Sunday at a sports bar watching football and all that stuff. This is 1992, I'm pretty sure, because the ESPN halftime special was the 200 way over, I think, Myrtle Beach in South Carolina.
Wow.
And it was typically one of those things where we're like, hey, let's go fucking don't do that. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, you can swear. It's okay.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
And literally like that week, he called me at work and was like, hey, $200 we're going Saturday. And I was like, $200 we're going where Saturday? He's like, the skydiving. I found a place. And I was like, okay. It was a little Cessna drop zone in Jersey called Skydive East.
Yeah.
Doug Angel, our instructor, took us to $3,000 doing static line with T10 rounds, belly mounted reserves. We did a couple of those, I think 3 or so. And they were like, yeah, we'll do AFF. We'll call you when we can schedule you in. And at that point, we were too juiced up to have to wait. My brother opened up the yellow book. Yeah. That's the yellow pages. Sorry, yellow pages, like, those paper things with phone numbers.
Yeah, anyway. We used to have them. Yeah.
And he found Skydive the Ranch. He called them up. This is 93, I believe, and the following year. And they're like, yeah, we're open 7 days a week. Come anytime you want. And we're like, okay. And we came here. We did AFF. Willie Bocher was our AFF instructor. And that's when we started skydiving here at the ranch. And so this is my 28th year here at the ranch.
Wow.
And yeah. And my brother still jumps. He's a weekend warrior,
Yeah.
you know. And what really, as far as for me, what really turned me on to the sport. I mean, I've always did sports my whole life: soccer, basketball, wrestling, all that stuff. The 1996, the ranch held the U.S. Nationals. Right. So me and a couple of my other idiot friends, my buddy Spanky and Steve and Buddy Kenny, we were like, the Nationals are at our drop zone. How can we not compete? Like, oh my God, this is. So we formed that year Team Sonic Force, and we competed there. And to see people from all over the country come to our drop zone was just like, it was just, you know, I had maybe 200 jumps, you know, a couple years into the sport. So it blew my mind, and it was just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And made some great lifelong friends there. You know, and then it just went from there. And I think by 1999, if I continue this story, is when I was at that point in my life, almost 30, sitting at that job going, looking out the window.
What was the job?
So I had worked for a promotional product company, anything with a logo on it. Yeah. Pens, mugs, key tags, promotional items. The last year there, or in 98 that I was there, I think I took a total of 8 weeks off of vacation. I was a fully commissioned, you know, paid, you know, and so I sort of made my own schedule. And I took a total of 8 weeks off. Yeah. You know, 2 weeks at the Nationals, a week at whatever boogie, a week at another boogie, you know, and just was out skydiving. And in 1999, my boss was sort of like, you need to maybe bring it back down to 2 weeks vacation. And by end of March, I was on the DZ in a tent, you know, and decided to go full time in skydiving in 1999, the summer of love. People from the ranch that were around will know what that means. And,
so what did you do? You were in your tent, and what did you do? What was your first work?
Anything. I mean, at that point, I probably had close to 1,000 skydives. And so I packed, shoot video. I was big at shooting video because it was a way to get in the air, to get paid or whatever, paid for swoop practice, as I would call it. So I did a lot of four-way, but then shooting four-way video really became a thing for me. And it was a way, again, to get in the air. And then that summer, got my tandem rating with Steve Webb, me and Vinny. Oh, God bless Vinny. Vinny, I love you, a friend that passed away. Me and him went through the tandem rating together. Anyway, and then about a month or so later, Billy Rhodes from USPA came around, and I got my AFF rating. And I was do whatever you can do at the DZ to work, be in it. Got my rigging ticket that year. It was one of those things of like, if I'm going to do this, like I tell all the youngsters, you need to have every rating. You need to be able to, when someone says, hey, go do that, you can do that. Hey, I need this, you can go do that. And so I started doing that. And then about within that end of the year, there's a guy, Marcus Entebbe, who was the owner of Pier LTD, at the time, one of the biggest gear stores, out there, mail order stuff. A lot of people will probably remember Marcus. And I started working for him, and phone sales, rigging, setting up camera helmets. That was a big thing, with the stupid boxes, and then all that junk and ring sights and all that stuff. And just was doing that for him for a while, full time. And then at the end of 2001, he was like, I'm done doing this. I need to do something else. And the opportunity for the gear store opened up at the ranch. And we were lucky enough to sort of submit our proposal, and got picked. And 19 years later.
Nice. There he is. So let's go back to that end of the 90s. You're full-time now. What are you, early 30s? In your early 30s?
Again, born in 70, so late 99, 29. Yeah. Again, is when the reality of what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And it was always, I'll try this. And my always thought was like, if it doesn't work out, I'll just go back to work doing something.
Yeah.
But it's worked.
But we you know, that feeling of what it's like, you're late 29, you're 30, you're 31, you're 32, you're on the DZ every day, the sun's shining, you're in prime condition, you're on top of your game, you're doing 10, 15 jumps a day.
Easy. Yeah.
The life, Sonic. People outside of the sport might not realize what it is. It's completely overtakes, and you really are on top of your game. Tell us a little about some of those. Tell me about those summers.
Oh man.
What you can tell me. What you can tell me.
Yeah. Live LTD, man. Living the dream. It really is like one of those stupid sayings that if you're lucky enough to do it, man, God bless you. And all those funny sayings of, you know, love what you do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. Yes and no. But yeah, man, it just was living in the tent was just a great experience that summer. And then just jumping as much as possible. I mean, again, it was just do whatever I could to get in the air. And in the late 90s is when swooping, we started to really get into swooping. So again, any way to get in the air to fly my velocity, you know, my velo, and just get swoops in. Because, you know, we sort of started the ranch pond swoop meet here.
Yeah.
Technically, so I'll tell you this quick story. I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah, we got time. We got lots of time. It's okay.
So during the 1996 Nationals, when it was held here at the ranch, there was a point in time where it was really cloudy. No one could jump. So the only people jumping were like fun jumpers, because obviously if you're competing, you can't jump. And we have the pond down at the one end of the field. And, you know, all the all the competitors and everybody was hanging around and watching these people do hop pops and swoop the pond. And then it was like one of those things after that, Leland Bendel and Drew Lipinski, who are ranch hands here, original ranch hands, were like, we need to do a pond swoop meet. So literally a couple of weeks after the Nationals, it was a local thing. I think it was a total of 7 guys. They put in $20, found some people, you know, to judge by giving them some beer to sit at the shoreline. And they did 3 rounds of just swooping the pond. And that year, the winner, Phil Contorno, a local rancher, won $140.
Yeah.
And it became one of those things that it was like, we're doing this next year.
Right.
And we did it next year, in 1997, and made a little video of it, you know, typical video, and someone threw it together on VHS tape. 1997 Nationals were out in Paris Valley. So me and Leland, my best bud, we were out in Paris Valley, and we met this guy, this long-haired SoCal, Aloha, Hawaiian vibe dude called JC Cold Closure, who's really from Illinois, which is the funny part. But we met JC and we showed him that video, and he's like, oh, I'll come there next year. We're like, okay, cool. Like, you know, tell more people about it. And JC came in 1998 and did some shit on that pond that we were at the shoreline going, oh, what? Holy shit. This guy blew our minds as far as what you could do swooping under a canopy. Yeah. That year, I think JC won like $700.
Wow.
You know, and he went back to California and he told all his damn friends.
Were they on the rears, Sonic? Was he already on the rears, or was it all still toggles?
I want to say it was probably at that time in 98, probably still on toggles. Actually, That's right. JC used to wear his chest strap tight. We didn't loosen shit back then. And he would used to be real tight in here with his toggles. Yeah. I mean, all the pictures, that's right. He was on toggles. It was probably 99 that people were using rears. Actually, it was 1999. I think the story of using rears was people were doing at the blade running out at the events at BJ. I think used to organize the blade running events, and they were using rears. But it was 99. I want to say Shaylin Allman was that guy on the pond grabbing his rears, and we were all like, what the freak is he doing?
Yeah.
Like, look at him go. I mean, it was a little ugly, some ugly transfers, but man, for sure you could see how it improved the swoops. And yeah, and then people started coming in 1999. And then me and my wife, Donna, really started organizing it and raising money to give out, to where I think in 2000, we gave out 20 grand.
Whoa.
Now, this ain't Skydive Dubai, bro.
Yeah, exactly right.
Gardner, New York, and we worked our butts off. And so people came. I think we had, 60, 70 competitors. Yeah. The following year, I think we gave out $21,000. And wow. That's when the explosion of swooping really happened. Other events were popping up. Lyle Pressey was doing some events out in California. Reggie Eastow with the blades, air blades. He was putting on events with Jim Slayton and Team Extreme with Luigi and all those guys. And the Jedi Knight. I can't forget to mention the Jedi Knight, Clint Clausen, who still to this day is probably the greatest swooper I've ever seen in my life. Next to my idol, I want to say my idol real quick, Senor Powell, Rickster Powell. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in skydiving in the mid '90s, where he was the PD poster boy. Yeah. And if you ever saw, oh my God, I'm blanking.
Traveling, was it the video?
Yeah, no. It's the Patrick Pass video. Him swooping into the hangar.
Yeah, down the ditch and then through the hangar, actually.
Oh yeah, the ditch, the hangar. It's like, oh my God, Rickster Powell. Like, oh man, he was just. That's, if you wanted to swoop, you wanted to be like Rickster for sure. But so anyway, and then I give credit to Lyle and to Jim Slayton to bring canopy piloting to the mainstream FAI IPC events and the first World Cup, I think 2003 out in Paris Valley. Yeah, man, and now it is what it is, and I retired a long time ago from swooping or swoop competitions. Competitions. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's been a fun long run for all the stuff that we've done through the years.
Those first ones on the pond where you guys were your judges had a few beers and everybody put $20 in. What were you judging? What were they doing? Distance or just a contact on the water or what?
I think they created a little lane.
Yeah.
I think I remember dental floss with little balloons to create the lane, if I can remember, for an in lane. And then the other ones were just swooping the pond, just like style and stuff.
Right.
Like, and landing, like, did he stand it up? Did he fall over? How much water displacement was there?
Yeah.
And then, or if they chowed, right? We came with the term chow, which means you didn't make it out of the pond. You ended up in the pond and you chowed into the pond. And so that's how that sort of went. But then through the years, we, especially the years me and Donna were organizing it, we sort of came up with the idea of the way the Olympics sort of does it. There's all little categories within a swoop.
Right.
And then the total of each, from control and difficulty to, how smooth they were or and then standing up. So there's all these little categories of each sort of aspect of the swoop to really break it down, because it can't just be like, oh, that's a 8 and that's a 9.5. It was like, let's really break it down, because the finer you break down the scoring, I think the more accurate people can be with winning or losing for something that's sort of subjective.
Right.
Sort of. I mean, we established for the Ranch Pond Swoop meet, there was the in lane, which is just the straight lane. And then there was the carving lane. Then we had targets. So we had like little pool noodle sort of targets that I created that stuck about 18 inches out of the water.
Yeah. And
they were like in an X, and whether you carved and got them or went straight and got them, you had to kick them, touch the water. And then what we call canopy expression, which was just do whatever, like, whatever funny trick, crash, you can, belly surf, like what, it didn't matter what it was. And then actually through some of those years, the first years I did trying to land on a raft, and people loved that so much that it became eventually the year, 2 years later, the last round raft accuracy, where you had to land in the raft. And there's only been a handful of people that have actually done it, but it's the most exciting one. It's the one that the crowd goes nuts for.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see people, just face planting into the water. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. How long was that running, that event? It must have been.
The pond swim?
Yeah.
I want to say it went through 2005 or 6, maybe. Like, I think after the years me and Donna stopped organizing it, which was 2003. Other people local that were taking it over, sort of doing it, and then it dropped, and then it went from Clint Clausen winning 2 or 3 in a row to some kid, Jeffrey, what's his name?
Provenzano, maybe that guy. I don't know.
Something like this. I'm not really sure who this kid is. I think he's sponsored by Monster. And no.
Yeah, Pepsi.
No, Jeffro. For people that don't know, Jeffro Provenzano, Red Bull athlete. He started here at the ranch. Him and at the time his girlfriend Amy Chemlecki, and they started here at the ranch. They're from Westchester, New York. So Jeffro, those later years, was doing his blind man, miracle man, picking, 14 times around, standing it up, putting, to the switchblade one hand. He was doing stuff that it was crazy. It was crazy. But and then it just stopped. It's a lot of energy and time and effort to put on an event of that caliber, and it's not easy. So anyway. And then the IPC, or should I say, the canopy piloting started taking off 2003, where, people needs to train for those events, the plane distance, speed, and then the zone accuracy. And hey, that bell, you know what that bell means? That means
somebody's at the door.
A visitor here at the pro shop. And
oh, hi.
It's always fun. Who it is? It's one of our full-time riggers.
Oh yeah.
And tandem instructors, John Kauran.
Hey John, how you doing, John? Let's find out. No, let's find out what he's doing. What does he need? Let's ask him.
So John works here at the pro shop as one of our riggers. He's a senior rigger. He's also been one of the full-time tandem instructors here at the ranch for the last, I don't know, man, 10, 15, whatever years. He just got his standard IE rating. And it's a crappy Monday, so he's coming in to look at the rigging board. I can see him back there looking to want to get to work. But anyway, so yeah, that's the swoop stuff. That's the swoop stuff.
Incredible stuff. Did you carry on with the 4-way?
So I stopped doing 4-way Team Sonic Force in 1999 down in Sebastian.
Yeah.
And then I started the swooping was the main focus for those years. And then the Gear Star again started 2002, so that became a big focus. And I would go film 4-way teams for fun or whatever. And then actually in 2015, there was a local team here, a bunch of young kids. One of the DZOs, Joe Richards, his daughter Bren, another young kid, Christopher Coleman, the son of Debbie Frances. So these 2 young kids of second generation jumpers started this team called Ranch Second Generation with Joey Marshall, and at the time Dean Van Tassel. And I was filming them that summer, and they were like, "Hey, Sonic, we want to go to the Nationals. Would you come film us?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" And we went and had a blast. And again, Bren was 17, 18, and young 20s, these young kids, and it was great just for me to go jump with them and film them. And the following year, this Dean left the team, and Michelle Caramont joined the team, and they got serious. Team R2G got serious, and they trained and tunneled. And 2016, we were in Eloy for the Nationals, and we took second, which was a complete surprise.
Right.
I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but after 5 or 6 rounds, when we were in the top 4 in the hunt for third, it was like, oh my God. And one of the teams that was in second place had a bad round, and we jumped to second, and We won. It was like we were completely unexpected to do that. And then 2017, we went out to Paris Valley, and Ranch Second Generation did what they were supposed to do, and we won gold out there for the advanced class, not the pros, the advanced class.
Yeah.
And then little Brenny, she decided it was her time to leave the team. We picked up somebody for the following year, Chris Haslam. But then the year after that, we picked up Gina. And the team was Michelle, Gina, Christopher, and Joey. And R2G went to the Paraclete Nationals in 2019. And we broke the 20 average, which is big for a four-way team.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the team.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure what Michelle and Gina are doing. Oh, wait a second. They're on the Paraclete XP Airspeed 8-way team.
Yeah.
Indoor world champions, U.S. national champions. And Chris and Joey. Hey, where did Chris and Joey go?
I think they're on Airspeed.
Oh, yeah. So they're on this team called Airspeed. They moved out to Arizona.
Yeah.
And I'm here tending shop by myself. No team to video.
Oh, man.
But those few years with Brand Second Gen was completely awesome to watch these young kids become national champs.
Yeah.
Chris and Joey, their first comp ever with Airspeed was in, I think, Belgium at the Indoor World, and they took second place to Hayabusa. They beat Hayabusa in, I think, 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Their first comp ever was like what these guys are doing, but the girls just as much. I mean, they won indoor 8-way at that comp. And then, nationals, and so watching these guys that were my teammates become, best in the world right now is just, it's insane. It's insane. I'm so proud of all of them so much. Yeah. And just to mention little Brenny Boo, sorry, Bren. She's now on the U.S. women's team with Michelle and Gina and Morgan for the U.S. women's team that won the indoor. They're looking to win the U.S. Nationals to become the U.S. women's team. So Bren's back in it with them, which is great and super exciting to watch.
Fantastic. And I've got to ask you, where did the name Sonic come from?
So again, me and my brother started here at the ranch. And there was this one instructor, Hank Bungay. So Hank was a little bit taller than us, and then he was a little bit,
right,
bigger than us. And after a couple levels at AFF, the other instructors were like, you guys need to jump with Hank. You guys are too big. And typical night at the bonfire, having some beers, everybody hanging out. And Hank was like, yeah, they were right. You guys fall fast. You guys fall at sonic speed. You're the Sonic Brothers.
That's where it came from. That's the history of that.
Stamped, and boom, that's it, right?
Yeah. Incredible. Sonic, yep. It's been really good to catch up with you on this damp and wet and rainy Monday from up here in Montreal, but to see you guys down there and Donna as well. Thanks very much for joining us. It's been a great chat.
No problem, buddy.
Good to catch up with you. You take care. And I promise once the borders open, I'm coming down and we can get a coffee and a pizza.
Hell yeah, buddy. Thanks for the interview, bro. Appreciate it. Stay safe.
And you, man. Take care.